Oh, God. Hello, everybody. It's I, the Maiden of Ravens. Welcome back to... Come on. Come on. Thank you. Doki Doki Literature Club. Last time... I'm moving my mic. Last time, we were reading with Yuri. So now we're going to continue. I recorded an entire episode, but, my mic was not recording at all, so that's just fantastic. So I had to redo the entire thing from the last save point, get back to here, which was fine. I just had to skip through text. And now we're reading with Yuri, and the thing is, I made the episode a bit longer. It was like 40 minutes, so this is another 40 minutes we're gonna have to do with more voices, which is not something I want to do, but here we are. I opened the book and started the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading the company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. Looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just... Yuri, you apologize a lot, don't you? I do? We're gonna... Also, I'm gonna forego the whole 40-minute episode thing I was doing, and we're just gonna stick to the 20-minute structure I had before, because... I learned why I've shortened the episodes. I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk up until it's up against Yuri's and then hold my book more between the two of them. Ah. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. Feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it a little kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. Ah. I do the same with my right arm and on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face as she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Ah, sorry. Get it together, my dude. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with her. Ah, that's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. What is my reading speed? Where's my book? I have nothing to confess, Hax said. His words carried well, and his voice was oddly dignified in spite of the muffle of cloth which hung over his lips. Okay, I read pretty fast. It's probably the least I can do. But how fast do I read, like when I'm just, not reading out loud? Pretty damn fast, okay. Sorry, Dark Tower, by Stephen King. The Gunslinger. Since you're being so patient with me. Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. But she's on this side. Wouldn't she... She's... You can't really see the ink. Book like this. You read from left to right. So... I'm an idiot. I forgot how books work for a second, guys. He would finish the page, so he would turn the page to her. I am an idiot. I'm an absolute dumbass. This episode's off to a great start. You don't read backwards. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri? This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Yuri remained silent for a moment. But Damien, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. Oh, it's so embarrassing that you think that. But wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know that you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant it. It's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. I think it's about time we share space poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri, not Yuri. Monica knows my time constraint of 20 minutes now. Look at her. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kinda down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Ow. I had to get the interactivity. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't want you to have too much of a preference either way. In that case, we'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Why am I off to the side over here? Yeah. My relaxation ends. Can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. Couldn't really find much inspiration since I never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sari and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sari's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly complies while reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Let's start with Monica and work our way up, because we're gonna go Monica. She's pretty neutral about everything. Yuri is the one we wrote it for. Natsuki's gonna absolutely hate our guts, and then we end off with Sayori, because so then we end off with nice. I should start with Monica. Yesterday she seemed eager to read my poem, and I want her to know I'm putting in effort. Hi, Damien. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. No, I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Hahaha. Don't worry, Damien. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Damien. I was going, woo! In my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. Haha, that's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Yeah, why do you think I wrote it? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively. Both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or learn them deeply and analyze all the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. Could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Sorry. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards different kind of styles, but it'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write that way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Anyway, you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See, the direction the spackle protrudes. A noisy neighbor? An angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. So what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, the kind of style's gotten pretty popular nowadays. Apologies again. That is, a lot of poems have been putting an emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. Kind of like what I did, you know? I put like some emphasis on words, like kind of made them sound pronounced a different way, or like I emphasized it with how I made it sound. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. That was me. I'm the epiphany, because I started playing the game, and she knows that I exist. I'm the epiphany. I did something for someone. Let's go, even if they're not real. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that, because it's kind of coming out strongly. Maybe after everyone's better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, you're bringing it too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to go get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. To expand on that. That when you're writing a story, I'm going to be talking from a writer's, well, she's also a writer, a story writer's perspective. When you're writing your first draft for your story, get it all down. Just write it all. Don't like obviously plan it out and everything, but just write down the draft so you have like your ideas, like, so it's all like there. Like write down your draft, finish it up, then once you're finished that, come back to it a bit later, like with like a fresh mindset, read over it, and when you make your new draft, like starting it all over again, this is how I write. When I make my new draft, starting all over again, then just like write basically the same, like the first part's like the basis, and then the new draft is like the building on top of that, and just change things that if you think need to be changed, or remove things entirely, like if you don't think they're working, that's fine. Like it doesn't always land. And just keep writing, just keep writing the draft, and then once you're done that draft, read it over, and just keep working on it until you are proud of it, until you think it's perfect. And if you want feedback, get feedback. But if you're fine, you're just writing it and just revisiting it later, do that too, because it's your writing. It doesn't, you know. Yeah, that's my expansion on it. Yeah, I said Yuri next. What was your voice?
This is a good poem, Damien. Are you sure it's your first time?
Of course. It's not that good. I'm not the kind of guy who'd be writing poems in his spare time.
I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously. Or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy you just wrote one. It just reminds me of how you really part of the club now.
Not to mention the fact that I'm standing right in front of you in the club room. Well, of course. Not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise.
See? It's like I said before, Damien. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know?
Even though the guy said that he was really only here for the girls, I think. Well, that's what I know he's for here anyway. He's only really here to talk to the girls because he gets no bitches otherwise. He also wanted to come for the cupcakes and tea. He just kind of picked up on the writing thing just because he gets to be a part of the club.
Trying to think like this for other people. That's something that really good people do.
Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Exactly. Then again, can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all.
Yeah. And I want to make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? That'll be my way of thanking you.
Alright, I'm gonna hold you to that then.
Yay! Now you read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this.
We'll see about that. Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning makes me feel like you miss me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish a very rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. But I'm not mad. I want breakfast. That's the only poem I memorized because of a Radical Soda video. That's the only reason I got it. Okay. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write those?
No. Just a little bit.
You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question.
I forgot to do it last night.
Well, at least that makes me feel a little better about myself.
Don't be mean. It's just from my best.
Yeah. I didn't mean to say it was a bad poem. It just came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you.
Really?
Yeah. Especially the last line.
I mean eggs and toast.
Even though you were late to school?
It's bad to skip breakfast. I get up cranky.
Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me.
This is so much fun. Monica's the best.
Yeah.
But next time I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever.
Well, I guess I look forward to it. Natsuki?
I mean, if you're not gonna take this club seriously, then go home.
What?
Harsh.
Wow. Harsh.
Wait, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid?
Kinda. I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about?
Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again.
Fair enough. To each their own, I guess.
Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you probably think it's stupid.
Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it.
Yeah, I told you they weren't gonna like it.
I like it.
What? Just be honest.
I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it?
Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously.
But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yes, exactly. Like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it.
Yeah, I understand.
But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up a rhyme at the end, but I made it fall flat on its purpose. Helps bring out the feeling in the last line.
So you did. I guess more went to it than I realized.
That's what it means to be a pro.
Whatever floats your boat.
I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you?
Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with the last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but Natsuki's feeling proud that I won't take it away from her. Yuri. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates that you've written a lot of poetry before. No, I've written like one poem about apples. Really? And I was like, when I wrote that apple poem, I was like 3. And then I stopped writing poetry at all. Well, that's a huge compliment coming from you. It was actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words of the poem, as if breaking it downward thoroughly. Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical in new writers. And having them been through that myself, I kind of learned how to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both style and expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, it's not something you can be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example, trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. I think you can be a bit biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. Not sure if Yuri's apologizing to me, to Natsuki, or herself. I read that out of order. I memorized that line, but I read it out of order, so call Kim and mess. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which in itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining street light to have withstood the test of time. Last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing in air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Why are you giving me that look? I don't like that. Anyway, I was gonna say, when I tried to record this before, I talked about how I was predicting that this wasn't actually about a ghost, but about like a metaphor of being stuck in the past or dead in the past, like a ghost, while everyone moves on to the future of living. I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. I blazed through that. What are you talking about? Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Eh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Damien. Really? I must have totally missed the point. I didn't. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. I did because I'm a fast reader. Remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in our last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. Eh? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I'll probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this. But in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep doing my best for you, Damien. Me too. Alright. I'm saving. Did not mean to do that. I'm so used to the cat game where if you right click it brings you to the save menu. Anyway, I don't know why I went to the settings here. That's gonna be it from this episode. We went a bit over the 20-minute mark, but we were just finishing up some stuff because I had a certain stopping point that I wanted to get to. Finishing all the girls' poems. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this and you want to see more, leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment as to which girl I should write a poem for next. Sayori or Natsuki. Or if I should... I don't want to do... Actually, I don't want to do Yuri again, so... Because I've played down her path, like, really off, like, a lot. So let me know which one I should do next. Yeah. That's gonna be it for me. So yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and ding the bell. Alright. And, you know, follow the Twitter. Join the Discord. It's a good place. Twitter is where I post writing stuff and stuff on projects. And I'd say it's also where I post videos, but at this point my friend has been the promoter on Twitter. And I just retweet those posts, so thanks to them for doing that. Anyway, that's all for me. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Did I mean to do that?